So if you're thinking of moving to Myrtle Beach and you go online to do your research, you're going to see a couple things. The internet's going to tell you that Myrtle Beach is the most popular place to move to in the entire country right now. And it's also going to tell you that Myrtle Beach has the highest crime rate of any place in the United States right now. Do those things gel? Does that even make sense? Hi, my name is Lance with Mango Homes, and welcome to my backyard. If this is your first time to the channel, we go over everything you need to know about living in Myrtle Beach as well as enjoying everything that it has to offer. The reason I'm shooting in my backyard is you may have heard there was a hurricane that tore into Myrtle Beach, Hurricane Ian. Now, Myrtle Beach didn't get 10% of the damage that Florida did from Hurricane Ian. It just kind of hit the beach and stopped. But it dumped about a foot or two of sand on the boardwalks and the roads down near the ocean. So to answer a question for Tim and Mary Jo in Maryland, no, I'm not going to be going to take pictures of that. I've tried it before, and honestly, the authorities are there trying to clean everything up. You just get in the way. I've had this one waiting to go for a little bit. This is a follow-up on a really popular video on our channel talking about, is Myrtle Beach dangerous? Now, you can see, like, YouTube shows you everything. And I could see where people kept rewinding and watching and rewinding and watching and rewinding the portion on crime. Plus, if you look in the comments, there's a ton of comments about the crime situation in Myrtle Beach. There is a fair amount of comments that you didn't see posted on that video because people are getting foul, and I refuse to post that on my channel. I just won't. All right, so let's start here. If I were to give you a statement, that statement being, there were 5 people robbed this weekend, and I just left it at that, what would you think? A pessimist is going to say, oh my God, that's so bad. An optimist would be like, well, that's not that bad at all. But a realist would stop and go, wait a minute, how big of a place are you talking about? Because if you're talking about 5 people getting robbed in an itty bitty little town in one weekend, that's a problem. Like, that's really a problem. If you're talking about 5 people getting robbed in a big city, honestly, that's not even a drop in the bucket. That's like a molecule of water in a bucket for some big cities for just 5 people to get robbed. So keep that in mind, because I'm going to bring that point up later on in the video when we're talking about the actual Myrtle Beach crime rates. So about 10 years ago, there's a website called Neighborhood Scout, and I tried to dig in and see how far back this went. Neighborhood Scout, and this is about 10 years ago, they started showing that Myrtle Beach was kind of a dangerous place to live. A couple local news stations picked up on it, then Facebook picked up on it, then the news stations kept reporting it year after year. Myrtle Beach keeps climbing the dangerous cities list. And that's where that myth comes from about Murder Beach, Dirty Myrtle, right? At least with that one. I think there's another one called Myrtle Vegas. At least for those last couple ones, I give the people points for creativity. That's pretty funny. So straight off of the Neighborhood Scout website, I went in there and I pulled up some of the cities that have crime issues that you see in the headlines. Places that aren't really a surprise to anybody. And I ranked them. I'm going to put these on the screen right now. For sake of comparison, we've got Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, San Francisco, Detroit, Seattle, New Orleans, Memphis, and we're going to compare this to Myrtle Beach. So where does Myrtle Beach fall on this spectrum? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? According to the Neighborhood Scout website, Myrtle Beach is roughly 3 times more crime infested than Chicago, or the rough equivalent of adding San Francisco and Baltimore together, and then all of that in one little resort town where everybody wants to move to.
That doesn't make sense.
So back to our point about how many people live there, right? If there are 5 people that get robbed in a given weekend, remember the rational response to that is, well, how big of a place is it? Is it a little place or is it a big place? Then you know whether it's a bad place or not, right? Well, let's look at the number that they're using for Myrtle Beach. According to Neighborhood Scout, 35,000 people live in Myrtle Beach. If you're like me, that doesn't quite sound right. Myrtle Beach stretches 50 miles from the North Carolina border halfway down to freaking Charleston, South Carolina. And you tell me we only have 35,000 people that live here? So let's put this into a realistic perspective here. Coastal Carolina's football stadium holds 21,000 people. Pelicans Ballpark, where we have a minor league baseball team, they hold 6,600. The Myrtle Beach Convention Center holds 8,000 people. So what you're saying, if you're believing what that website says, is that if there's a sold-out football game at the same time that they're having 2 for beer night at the Pelicans Ballpark, and there just happens to be a home show going at the same time at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center, you mean to tell me that the entire city is going to shut down, the hospitals are going to empty out, Walmart's going to close down, there won't be a soul on the roads because everybody up to and including the police are going to be enjoying a game or going to a home show? No, that's not right. That's not even close to right. Yet, there it is. The Myrtle Beach metro area right now, as of this moment, has a population right around 410,000 people. If you do the math, that makes the crime rate that Myrtle Beach is subject to on that list, it makes it off by a factor of 11.7. The crime rate is 11.7 times higher than it actually should be because they're not looking at the entire picture. They're only counting 35,000 people. So that's the final crime rate, right? Actually, no. Bonus points for you if you remember that Myrtle Beach is a tourist town. According to the Chamber of Commerce, at any given weekend, there is an average of 650,000 extra people here who don't actually reside here. They're on vacation. They're coming down, they're having fun, they're doing their thing. So that makes the actual population of Myrtle Beach on any given week over 1 million people. 1 million is substantially greater than 35,000. Again, if you do the math, that makes the crime rate in Myrtle Beach 30 times higher than it actually is. 30 times higher. So again, if you do the math, the Myrtle Beach crime rate is not over 100. It is not the most dangerous place on the entire planet. The Myrtle Beach crime rate is 3.33 when you correct for the proper population. And to put some more real-world perspective on that, and just because I like digging into numbers and being silly with it, I looked it up. Our crime rate is roughly twice that of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. What's famous about Lancaster County, Pennsylvania? It has 2 things. It has the town of Lancaster, where they do have some crime. And it has the largest Amish community in the entire country. So yeah, I guess it's a badge of honor that we're twice as bad as where the Amish people live. I'd take that. So to sum it up, 5 people got robbed over the weekend, right? Was it a big place or was it a small place? Context matters. In this case, it matters by a factor of 30. Myrtle Beach is a huge place, not an itty-bitty little tiny place. Our crime here? Yes, there is crime. There's crime everywhere. But it's nowhere near as bad as those poor folks are up north in the cities in California. Oh my God, it's horrible out there. And to say, and this is for folks that live here now. Now, y'all should know better. To say that this place is far worse than any of those, it's just not right, man. Come on. Myrtle Beach is an amazing place to move to. It is the fastest growing area in the country right now for a really good reason, for a lot of really good reasons. The weather, the people, the affordable housing. I mean, like a place like this, I mean, I've got a cute little drainage pond back there. There's turtles. A place like this costs honestly 1/3 of what the same house would cost for in San Francisco. And the house in San Francisco won't be half as nice and you'll have to be dodging crazy people on the sidewalk. There's no downside for the people that are moving here. There's no downside to it. Retirees, tech people that discovered that they have mobile jobs, they're coming here in droves still, even with the economy like it is. If you're one of those people and you're thinking of moving to this part of the country, I got my contact information on the screen for you. You can text, you can call, you can email, whatever you're good with. I almost forgot the best part. So I found a shot of this. I kept it on the computer. You know where Neighborhood Scout got their information from? This is what makes it all funny. The freaking FBI. The FBI is where the faulty statistic comes from, where they think that 35,000 people live here. Yeah, 35,000 people in downtown Myrtle Beach, in one little piece of Myrtle Beach, where all the tourists are, where nobody lives. It's all commercial and tourist. No wonder the statistics are skewed. I guess that just goes to show you, federal government, there you go, man. There you go. Thanks for watching.